So let's start off with a little bit of an overview. Now, meditation, there are tons of different types of meditations. You've got your guided meditations, you have your affirmation meditations. The one that we're specifically speaking into, you will find in research papers. And some of the research papers talk about pain thresholds, shrinking of your amygdala, which is your anger and fear centers. And some of the sayings that I found, like after I read enough about meditation and looked in some research about it, I decided to meditate an hour every single day for an entire year. And that's where I began. Just straight up in a coffee shop, just sitting in a snuggie, convinced myself at that point in time, you know what? Based on all of this research being positive when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to brain health, neuronal plasticity, just an overall better experience while you're alive, that's when I started meditating. And then the social anxiety went away, the fear went away. And the interesting parts with meditation is the pain thresholds. So I wouldn't say to immediately, and this is where it gets interesting with like the spiritual side of the world. I wouldn't say to immediately jump directly into hour-long meditations. You can do that, but it makes it much easier to be in a place of suffering. So like if you're really, really, really truly suffering and you don't know your way out just yet, meditating inward is not going to truly be the best first step to help yourself out. It's very good for plasticity. It's very good for social anxiety. It's very good for just general well being. But I would say, based on my experiences with meditation and introducing mindfulness into my life, it's very important to have a direction. Like, where do I want to go? Why do I want to be there? Start focusing on that. Like, put all of your conscious moments towards that. But the meditation, I will say, is extremely beneficial. So, looking back, I kind of was struggling and figuring it out as I went. And, I was already doing the cold showers. I was already doing the fasting. I was already working on the gut health. I was already doing all of that. So I already had the trajectory, but I just added in all of the extra pieces as time went on. Like the grounding, sitting outside, as to I just got grounding wires for inside the house. So meditation's kind of the very first one. Now, if you're doing everything that we're going to be teaching you in this program, you will meditate an hour every single day for an entire year. You will no longer take cold showers. You will listen to your subconscious affirmations when you sleep at night. Whether or not your doctor approves or disapproves, you would fast maybe 20 hours a day every single day for an entire year. You would only eat gut healthy foods that are good and sensible for your gut microbiome health. You would ground every single day. You would do your breathing exercises every single day, like a 15-minute timer that goes off every 15 minutes to remind yourself to breathe and ask yourself the question, am I where I want to be doing the things that I want to do, or is there still work left for me to do to be able to get to where I want to be and do the things that I want to do? But remember, there's no difference between here and there. It's literally one letter. Meditate, medicate. One letter, life or death. Here and there, you're not going to feel too different. And then when it comes to vibrations, this is where you start to think, like, diets are more than food, they're information. So like, what am I listening to today? How are the things that I am listening to benefiting my life? They either are or they are not. Let me move this mic over here out of my way so you can see my face a little bit more. Sorry about that. And then energy in general is just positive, negatives, and neutrals. You really can't experience anything outside of that. And all your experiences happen in a time and place. So what we basically say here is millions of individually mastered each pillar of knowledge we present here. When combined, they form the Homeostasis Diet. This methodology guides you beyond fundamental needs, unraveling knowledge concealed from you since birth. Like, nobody ever told me that I was on depression medication, anxiety medication, sleep medication, and stress medication because all of the thoughts that I was taught to think didn't work. Nobody ever told me that. So I didn't understand meditation. I didn't understand affirmations when I slept at night that it would reprogram my brain. I didn't know what the Wim Hof method was in cold exposure, where people think that you're crazy for being healthy. Nah, you're crazy for thinking I'm crazy for being healthy. I didn't know that not eating was actually beneficial for you. Like, I truly found fasting because I didn't have money to eat food. And I learned more in 3 days than I did about 30 years of my life. Well, at that point in time, 20 some years of my life. But imagine if 3 days would destroy 20 years of your thinking. That's pretty powerful. And then when it came to food, you may or may not have seen the 50 brain cell challenge. If you don't follow me online, you might not know about the 50 brain cell challenge. But with food, I was on like the 500 brain cell challenge and failing that on a daily basis. My breakfast being roughly, I don't know, 50 or 60 different ingredients because I drink pre-workout in the morning sometimes. So I was extremely lost, and I started at pretty much absolute rock bottom. And along the way, you're going to fail. Many people have told me, because this is a new version of an old program that we have. So I've had feedback over years on users' experiences from that program. And a lot of people say that meditating for an hour is really hard, or they start their affirmations and they forget their affirmations, or the cold showers are freaking amazing. The fasting is always hard at first. We're going to be talking about the intermetabolic switching. Eating healthier foods, they don't taste good at first. Like, you don't crave unhealthy food after a while. And even if you're the type of person that fasts all the time and you change your fasting schedule, you'll feel the effects of hunger for a very small period of time. And grounding, that's the next thing that I need to do on my list of research as I have been doing it. And I would say get your grounding items. That's pretty much the best advice you can possibly take there is get it, use it. It's irrefutable evidence from the doctors that I've seen talk about it, and it just makes sense. And then breathing, how many breaths have you taken since listening to this video? Be conscious, be aware of what's going on around you. And the vibrations and energy are just the part where it's diets are not food, they're information. And as you learn new information, you get to reform the way you see the world and apply your energy to the world. The right words take you to the right place, and the wrong words, unfortunately, they take you to the wrong place. And I started with all the wrong thoughts to think. So it was very easy for me to accept other people's thoughts because mine, they were totally useless. So everything you see on each one of these pages in the PDFs is something that I wish existed that didn't exist for me, so now it exists for you. So in the next video, we're going to start to break down each page on the PDF, and it's going to take a while, but make sure you take notes, pause whenever you think you need to learn a little bit more about something, look into the research papers, look into the books. This is a very long journey. It is not get fit quick, get rich quick, fix your problems quick. It's solve them probably for the rest of your life. Like, I don't ever want to have to think about things and whether or not what I'm doing is actually beneficial long term. Everybody knows cold showers are beneficial. Everybody knows meditation is beneficial. Everybody knows gut health is beneficial. So it's basically a stacking process that you can build a day in your life that when you're 60 years old, you're going to be happy that you have built that day and you have that discipline from a very young age. Because I remember yesterday I was in the sauna and there was a guy maybe in his 50s or 60s, maybe 70s, I don't know, but he could barely walk. And he used to be extremely overweight. Every 1 pound of weight, 4 pounds of joint pressure. So being healthy is the most important thing that you can ever give to yourself because it amplifies every single part of your life. So I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye now.